Good day, esteemed members of the academic panel. Before I begin the presentation of my doctoral dissertation, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to God Almighty who has made today a reality, and also to my course advisor and dissertation advisor, Professor Ndubisi Raphael, for his invaluable guidance, his support, and his assistance throughout this great endeavor. I also wish to express my appreciation to Professor Ndubisi Vechu, the Deputy Chancellor of Administration, and Dr. Ndubisi Chidebere, the Deputy Chancellor of Academics, the Board of Regents, faculty members, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly observed. It is with great honor and enthusiasm that I present the findings of my doctoral dissertation. Completing my academic journey at Real Life Christian College and Seminary has been a profound privilege, as this esteemed institution has significantly enriched and shaped my understanding of leadership, spirituality, and the world at large. My research delves into a topic of both academic relevance and profound societal significance. Today, I will share my findings on the topic leadership development and succession planning in Pentecostal churches. I am Adegoke Oludotu Oluleke Newton. Chapter 1 of this dissertation serves as the foundational introduction, setting the stage for an in-depth exploration of leadership development and succession planning within Pentecostal churches. It illuminates the central role that effective leadership plays in sustaining growth, fostering continuity, and advancing the mission of religious organizations, particularly within the vibrant and dynamic context of Pentecostalism, characterized by fervent worship and a deep commitment to spiritual empowerment, the cultivation of capable leaders, and the seamless transition of leadership of great paramount. The chapter begins by highlighting the remarkable growth and diversification of Pentecostalism, tracing its roots back to the early 20th century of the popular Azusa Street revival. This global movement has witnessed significant expansion, particularly in regions like Africa, or Latin America, and part of Asia. As Pentecostal churches continue to flourish, the need for competent leaders who can navigate complex social, cultural, and theological landscapes becomes increasingly apparent. The chapter underscores the urgency of nurturing such leaders while remaining faithful to the core tenets of Pentecostal faith. Within Pentecostal congregations, the emphasis on the role of the Holy Spirit in guiding and empowering leaders adds a unique dimension to leadership development. The decentralized structure common to many Pentecostal denominations underscore the importance of empowering local leadership to drive ministry initiative and respond effectively to community needs. Leadership development programs within Pentecostal context must therefore integrate theological education, practical ministry training, and character formation in order to nurture both spiritual depth and practical skills among emerging leaders. In addition to leadership development, the chapter addresses the critical issues of succession planning within Pentecostal churches, given the significant influence of founding pastors and charismatic leaders. Ensuring a seamless transition of leadership is essential in order to sustain organizational vision and momentum over time. However, this process is often fraught with challenges, including the identification of potential successors and the preparation required for them to carry forward the mantle of leadership authentically. Insight from organizational leadership, theology, sociology, and psychology intersect to inform effective practices tailored to the unique ethos of Pentecostalism. By examining case studies, theological frameworks, and empirical data, this dissertation aims to contribute valuable perspective to the broader discourse on leadership within religious organizations. The chapter 2 of this dissertation, which is the literature review, constitutes a thorough exploration of various bodies of literature that is pertinent to leadership succession, particularly within the context of Pentecostal churches. This chapter serves as a foundational piece aiming to synthesize existing research on succession, leadership, church succession, and Pentecostal leadership succession, providing a comprehensive understanding that is essential for subsequent analysis as well as discussions. The literature review begins with a look into the significance of succession planning strategies, drawing from seminal works such as Gruski, 1960, often regarded as the pioneer in succession research. Gruski's assertion about the inevitability of succession and its impact on organizational stability sets the stage for understanding the intricacies of leadership transitions. Moreover, Romanelli and Tushman, 1994, examination of CEO succession in technology firms underscores the revolutionary transformation often associated with leadership changes, highlighting the need for proactive succession planning to navigate organizational change effectively. The key insight from the literature underscore the critical role of succession knowledge and influence in facilitating smooth transitions. Gruski's observation regarding the circumstances surrounding the departure of predecessors and the organizational knowledge possessed by successors illuminate the complexities inherent in succession processes. Furthermore, the dichotomy between insiders and outsiders in succession, as explored by Carlson, 1961, and Elmick, 1975, emerges as a recurring theme with profound implications for organizational continuity and adaptation to change. To review also elucidates the challenges that are inherent in the succession processes, ranging from interpersonal conflict to generational tensions. Studies by Brandy Foreman and Hermick, 1982, shed light on the various organizational problems that are experienced during succession, emphasizing the pivotal role of effective succession planning in mitigating potential disruptions. By examining the experiences of CEOs and the organizational problems that they always encounter, the literature underscores the multifaceted nature of succession challenges and the need for comprehensive planning strategies. Furthermore, the literature emphasizes the significance of socialization theory in understanding leadership succession dynamics. Fondes and Wisserman's 1997, the exploration of socialization process, highlight how successors assimilate organizational values and drive strategic change. Insight from socialization research offer valuable perspective on how successors navigate organizational dynamics and foster innovation, underscoring the importance of aligning leadership transitions with organizational goals as well as values. The chapter also addresses succession planning as a dynamic process Integrating Perspective from Kerr, 1988, and Murray, 2003, to delineate stages of organizational change. By examining the evolution of succession planning approaches from informal to integrated systems, the literature underscores the importance of proactive planning in anticipating leadership transitions and fostering organizational stability. Leadership constitutes the cornerstone of organizational success as well as their longevity, making its convergence with the discourse on succession imperative. Despite the undeniable significance of leadership in shaping the trajectory of organizations, the integration of leadership theories into succession literature remain conspicuously inadequate. This chapter endeavors to bridge the gap by exploring the symbiotic relationship between leadership and succession, uncovering a new insight and promising avenues for further exploration. The amalgamation of succession studies with leadership research presents a wealth of opportunity for scholarly inquiry. At its core, succession can be viewed as a lens through which to examine leadership dynamics, particularly during periods of organizational change as well as transition. Gordon in 1984 uh, aptly underscores the necessity of scrutinizing leadership effectiveness amidst such flux, advocating for a departure from static cross-sectional studies towards a more dynamic exploration of leadership in evolving contexts. However, despite the compelling rationale for integrating leadership theories into succession research, existing literature has failed to delineate between various leadership paradigms within the context of a succession, whether examining strategies, visionary, or managerial leadership. The literature lacks granularity in differentiating their impact on succession outcomes. These oversights present a fertile ground for future research endeavors, particularly in applying a contingency theory to assess the fit between leaders, leadership style, and organizational contexts. Giabantista et al. 2005 shed light on the potential benefit of infusing succession literature with insight from organizational and strategic management theory by grounding succession research in established theoretical frameworks. Scholars can unearth novel research questions and stimulate scholarly discourse. Moreover, such an approach fosters theoretical pluralism, inviting diverse perspective and interpretation that enriches the discourse on leadership succession. Transitioning from the broader discussion of leadership literature, it is essential to delve into the news of contemporary leadership theory, from trait-based approaches or to transformational and authentic leadership paradigm. The evolution of leadership theories reflect a deepening understanding of leadership dynamics and their implication for organizational success. New leadership theories, exemplified by Max Weber's exploration of charisma, offers fresh insight into the transformative power of leadership, particularly during periods of change and uncertainty. Transformational leadership theory, as articulated by Bass 1985 and Bonds 1983, represent a departure from traditional transactional models, emphasizing the role of leaders in inspiring followers and fostering collective engagement. However, despite its widespread acceptance, transformational leadership theory is not without its conceptual ambiguity, underscoring the need for a more nuanced understanding of its application in succession context. Enter Level 5 Leadership, a paradigm proposed by Collins 2001 that challenges conventional notion of leadership by prioritizing humility and organizational success over personal recognition. This novel approach to leadership not only offers a compelling alternative to traditional heroic models, but also holds significant implications for succession planning and leadership development. By integrating level 5 leadership theory into the discourse on succession, scholars can elucidate the role of leadership traits in fostering transition success and organizational continuity. Succession planning within Pentecostal churches ministry is a multifaceted process, deeply rooted in both organizational governance and spiritual continuity. Scholars emphasize the necessity of strategic foresight, mentorship, and organizational preparedness to navigate leadership transitions effectively. This involves proactive identification of leadership talent, implementation of mentorship programs, and establishment of clear policies and decision making processes. Strategic foresight is quite crucial, requiring ministries to anticipate leadership needs and groom potential successors aligned with long term organization objectives. Mentorship plays a pivotal role in nurturing future leaders, transferring spiritual wisdom and pastoral insight to prepare them for leadership roles. Organizational preparedness ensures smooth transition by establishing protocols and fostering a culture of inclusivity. Executive leadership and research committees are pivotal in this process, responsible for identifying, evaluating, and selecting potential successors based on leadership potentials, spiritual maturity, and alignment with the ministry's vision. The composition of these committees should prioritize diversity, spiritual discernment, and relevant expertise. The debate between internal and external successor is quite prominent. Internal successors offers familiarity with the organizational culture and values, promoting stability and cohesion, while external successors brings fresh perspective and specialized skills, enhancing innovation as well as adaptability. Effective leadership development programs are quite essential for nurturing internal talent, integrating theological education, spiritual mentorship, and practical ministry experience. Comparative studies between secular and biblical leadership succession models provide insight into Pentecostal church governance. Biblical precedents emphasize servant leadership, spiritual discernment, and stewardship, guiding contemporary organizational practices. Integration of biblical principles into organizational practices fosters humility, character development, and mentorship, ensuring integrity and purpose in leadership succession. The theological foundations of leadership development and succession planning within the Pentecostal church ministries are deeply rooted in biblical narratives, doctrinal beliefs, and theological reflections. Scholars emphasize God's sovereignty and providence in orchestrating leadership transition, drawing insight from historical narratives of Israel in the Old Testament. This narrative exemplifies divine guidance in leadership succession, emphasizing principles of mentorship, prophetic discernment, and covenantal faithfulness. Pentecostal theology views God as the ultimate superintendent of succession, guiding leadership transition according to his own sovereign will. Biblical examples such as the transition from Moses to Joshua and from Elijah to Elisha illustrate the importance of divine intervention and prophetic discernment in identifying and preparing future leaders. The concept of covenantal faithfulness underscores God's commitment to preserving leadership continuity in alignment with his purposes. Future-focused succession planning within the Pentecostal theology extends beyond just administrative transitions to embrace eschatological significance. Scholars advocate for a forward-looking approach to succession planning that we align with the anticipation of Christ's imminent return, emphasizing the transformative potential of effective leadership development in advancing the mission and the vision of the local church. The decentralized nature of Pentecostal church ministries necessitates strategic approaches to succession planning that will empower diverse leaders and prioritize shared governance. Drawing from biblical principles and New Testament models of leadership succession, Pentecostal leaders prioritize servanthood, spiritual gifting, and the relational accountability in identifying and equipping future leaders. Theoretical frameworks such as generative succession planning challenge traditional hierarchical models by advocating for proactive, inclusive strategies that cultivate a diverse pipeline of leaders. The Ten Commandments framework provide practical guidelines of effective succession planning rooted in transparency, accountability, and continuous evaluation. The Mosaic succession model draws inspiration from biblical principles of mentorship and shared leadership, emphasizing the transfer of wisdom and authority from one generation to the next. Lessons from Jesus and the apostles highlight the importance of relational discipleship, transformative teaching, and servant leadership in shaping future leaders within Pentecostal context. The chapter 3 of this dissertation delves deeply into the research methodology employed to address the specific problem statement laid out in this project. It begins by elucidating the concept of research methodology, defining it as the systematic and scientific approach utilized to collect, analyze, and interpret data with the aim of answering research questions or testing hypotheses. This foundational understanding emphasizes the critical role research methodology plays in ensuring the validity, the reliability, and the meaningfulness of any research endeavor. The chapter proceeds to outline various types of research designs, providing a comprehensive overview of their characteristics and their suitability for different research questions and contexts. Four common types of research designs are discussed. The first is the experimental, we have the second as the correlational, the descriptive, and lastly the diagnostic designs. Each design is meticulously explained with examples provided to illustrate their implication in real-world research scenarios. Experimental research is examined as a scientific approach used to investigate causal relationship between variables by manipulating one set of variables while keeping others constant. Its distinct benefits, such as the ability to establish cause and effect relationship, are juxtaposed with its limitations, including the need for rigorous control over variables and associated costs. Correlational research is presented as a method to explore relationships between variables without intervening in the process, thereby offering insight into real-world associations between phenomena. The chapter elucidates how the correlation research can provide valuable insight into the complex interplay between various factors without necessitating experimental manipulation. Descriptive research is another key design that is being discussed. It's characterized by systematic observation and description of subjects without influencing them. The method employed in descriptive research, such as surveys, interviews, and case studies, are highlighted as effective means of gaining an in-depth understanding of phenomena in the natural settings. Diagnostic design is explored as a method to evaluate the causes of specific phenomena or problem, enabling researchers to identify underlying factors and correlation between variables. The chapter underscores the importance of diagnostic design in understanding the root causes of complex issues and informing targeted interventions. Furthermore, the chapter delves into the two major types of research design, that is, the quantitative and the qualitative research designs. The quantitative research involves the collection and analysis of numerical data, facilitating trend identification, prediction, relationship testing, and generalization of results for large populations. Its key characteristics, such as structured data collection tools, sample size consideration, and close-ended questions, are expounded upon in detail. The qualitative research, in contrast, focuses on obtaining data through open-ended and conversational communication, delving into the what and why of individuals' thoughts as well as their perceptions. Various types of qualitative research methods, including one-on-one interview, focus groups, ethnographic research, and case studies are discussed alongside their respective strengths as well as their applications. The chapter also detailed the development of a comprehensive questionnaire tailored to assess various dimensions of biblical leadership and succession planning within Pentecostal churches. The construction of the questionnaire, informed by an extensive review of leadership theories, biblical principles, and survey construction best practices, is elucidated to highlight its role in ensuring a holistic exploration of the research topic. Moreover, the chapter addresses the population of the study, which comprises Pentecostal churches in Togo, and outlines the sampling procedure employed, utilizing simple random sampling to ensure representation and generalizability of the findings. Throughout the chapter, emphasis is placed on the importance of selecting appropriate research designs, methodologies, and sample size in order to ensure the validity, reliability, and the relevance of the study's finding to the research objectives. By meticulously detailing the research methodology employed, this chapter lays a robust foundation for the subsequent analysis and discussion of the findings. The chapter 4 is the presentation of data analysis. In this chapter, the collection data is meticulously analyzed and presented to provide insight into the research questions and the hypotheses outlined in chapter 1. Here is a detailed summary of the key findings highlighted during the defense of the dissertation. The age range. The respondent ages varies, with the majority being 63%, and the age range is between 36 and 55 years. Then followed by those who are between the age bracket of 26 to 35 years of age, and they are 19%. Then those who are over 56 years of age, they are 16%, and those that are between the ages of 18 to 25 years, they form the population of just 2%. These indicate a predominantly middle-aged demographic. The second is the gender. Most respondents were male, which constitute 88%, while female constituting only 12%. The third is the church affiliation duration. The majority, which is 56%, has been affiliated with their churches for over 10 years, suggesting long-term involvement and extensive experience within their church communities. The fourth is educational qualification. Almost half, which is 49%, had higher educational qualification that ranges between ordinary diploma to Ph.D., while 21% had basic education from primary 6 school certificate to SSCE. The fifth is the current church role. A significant portion, which is about 37%, were church leaders. When we talk of church leaders, we're talking about the elders, the deacons, and the ministers, the altar ministers, followed by senior pastors that constitute 30%, the associate pastors that constitute 21%, and the resident pastor that constitute 12%. Number 6 is the leadership development. An overwhelming 98% believe leadership development is crucial for church growth and sustainability. The seventh is the satisfaction with leadership program. 60% were satisfied with their church's leadership development programs, though a notable minority expressed dissatisfaction or uncertainty. The eighth is the essential leadership qualities. 93% affirm that specific qualities are crucial for effective church leadership. The ninth is the effectiveness of training programs. 63% found current leadership training and mentoring programs effective, despite some varied opinion. The tenth is the nature of leadership. Opinions were split. 37% believes leaders are born, another 37% thought leaders are made, and the rest were undecided or believe it depends on various factors. The 11th is the formal succession plan. 67% confirmed the presence of a formal succession plan in their local churches. The 12th is the transparency in succession planning. Only 51% perceive the succession planning process as transparent, indicating room for improvement. The 13th is the confidence in leadership transition. 67% were confident in their church's ability to manage leadership transition effectively. The 14th is the challenges in succession planning. A significant 79% acknowledge challenges in implementing succession planning. The 15th is the identifying potential successors. 91% believe in identifying and preparing potential successors for leadership role. The 16th question is the role of current leaders in grooming successors. 93% felt that it was the responsibility of current leaders to mentor potential successors. The 17th is the reviewing succession plans. 75% advocated for regular reviews and update of succession plans. The 18th is the assessment of potential successors. 63% confirmed that their churches assesses potential successors for readiness to assume leadership role. The 19th is the continuity and stability during transition. 86% reported that their churches ensure continuity and stability during leadership transition. The 20th is congregational involvement in succession planning. Only 37% reported that their churches involve the congregation in the succession planning processes. The 21st is the receptivity to leadership changes. 77% believe their congregation is receptive to leadership transition and changes. The 22nd is the congregational involvement in decision making. Only 35% indicate active involvement of church members in leadership transition decision. The 23rd is the alignment of church values with leadership development. 63% believe that churches valued should align with leadership development and succession planning. 24th is the engagement of younger generation. A striking 98% emphasize the importance of involving younger generation in leadership development. 25th is the optimism about future leadership. 77% express optimism about the future leadership of their churches. The 26th is the contribution of leadership development to church growth. 91% agreed that leadership development efforts contribute to the overall mission and growth of the churches. The 27th is the role of prayer and spiritual discernment. 95% believe in the importance of prayer and spiritual discernment in identifying and equipping future leaders. The 28th is communication of leadership importance. 77% believe churches can effectively communicate the importance of leadership development and succession planning to their congregation. The 29th is the readiness for succession, and 61% believe their churches are always ready for succession, though a significant portion express uncertainty or conditional readiness. In summary, the data indicate a strong awareness and emphasis on the importance of leadership development, succession planning, and the engagement of younger generations within church communities. However, challenges such as transparency, active involvement of congregation, and ensuring continuous readiness for succession highlight areas for further improvement. Overall, the survey population demonstrates a proactive and a thoughtful approach to leadership within their church communities, with a clear recognition of the critical role that well-prepared and effective leaders play in the growth and sustainability of their organization. The chapter 5, which is the summary recommendation and the conclusion, The chapter provides an overview of the research journey, highlighting the key insight into leadership development and succession planning within the Pentecostal context. It emphasizes the significance of these aspects in sustaining church growth, ensuring continuity, and advancing the mission of religious organization. The study underscores the challenges, the opportunities, and best practices associated with leadership within Pentecostalism, grounded in theological conviction and empirical research. Drawing from the findings, the dissertation proposed practical recommendations for Pentecostal churches to enhance their leadership development and succession planning initiatives. These recommendations include strengthening leadership development programs, facilitating succession planning processes, integrating biblical principles, fostering collaborative leadership, promoting mentorship and discipleship, and embracing innovation and adaptation. In conclusion, the dissertation reaffirms the critical importance of leadership development and succession planning within Pentecostal churches. It calls upon church leaders to heed the recommendations provided and to persist in their pursuit of excellence in these areas by faithfully stewarding their leadership resources and aligning their practices with biblical principles. Pentecostal churches can ensure the sustained growth, vitality, and impact of their ministries for generations to come. Thanks so much for listening. God bless you.